Welcome back to Simply Showbiz right here on TV3. It's such a pleasure to have you join us. If you just join in, well, we're still about to have the conversation, so you haven't missed out a lot. I have been telling you, for those who watched from the beginning, that we're having a conversation about gospel from the diaspora. We seem to have a lot of stars in the diaspora trying to find your way here in Ghana, trying to make an impact there and here. And I want to find out from them what exactly, is pushing them, because I thought they are global and they want to stay in their corner, and we get to hear from them from that space. I have in studio Emmanuel Smith. Emmanuel Smith is a British gospel artist, Ghanaian, but British gospel artist. And next to him is Hattie, award-winning Hattie. Hattie is currently the Artist of the Year, the Female Vocalist of the Year, the recently held Ghana Music Awards USA. Great to have you in studio. Then also seated by me, the man whose song you heard from the beginning, Humphrey Tete. He's a Male Vocalist of the Year at this year's Ghana Music Awards USA. Great to have you all in studio. I'm going to start with you, Emmanuel. So, British... okay, let me say, are you the British-born Ghanaian, or you're Ghanaian who became, I don't know, which one are you?
So I was born in Tema.
Oh, you're born in Tema. Okay, so you're Ghanaian British. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But let's talk about how long you started this professionally and how it started for you.
So music really kicked off for me from a very young age, even when I was in Ghana. But I took it serious probably from 2012. And obviously 2019, by God's grace, I was able to be on The Voice UK. And that's where really it's just taking me to a whole different level.
So it started internationally from The Voice UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And by God's grace, people like Hattie has brought me over to the States and everything. So that's where it's really kicked off for me in the UK. And yeah, so I'm enjoying the process so far, and I'm loving what I'm seeing in Ghana.
And how accepted are you in that space?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians know about the O2. So I'm one of the first gospel artists to sell out the O2 after I came off The Voice. So in the UK, people are very much aware of what I'm doing, and they always come out to support, because it's not easy to do the O2. I'm sure some of the artists here would say. So by God's grace, I'm quite established.
How many tracks do you have to your credit?
So I have 7 singles to my credit. 7
singles to your credit. Yeah. You filled the O2.
Yes.
It was a worship segment, at the O2. We'll come back to talk about that and, what people will say down here about that. But congratulations to you on that one. That's a big deal. There are a lot of even secular artists hoping to fill the O2 who haven't done that yet. So there's a need for us to say congratulations. Hattie, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
You're great. I don't want to be mischievous this morning, so let's go straight to the point. You've been doing this for how long now? For a minute. But when I went over to the state, I would say that professionally, I started putting stuff out from 2019. That was when Overflow was really, really held. So that was when I marketed myself to the US market and then put out those music that God has blessed me with. Prior to that, when you were here, were you doing music professionally?
Yes. Professionally, yes. I did some music. I did a song with... there's this gentleman, I don't know, God bless his soul, he's passed. But I used to work with Sidi Kubwari. He had a studio in Jordan, so I did a lot of production work over there. And then I also was a worship leader in Royal House Chapel, so most of the time it was more of church-based than putting content out professionally.
Okay. Humphrey, how about you?
I started about professionally 4 years ago in 2017. But prior to that, I did praise and worship a lot in Ghana, visiting churches and stuff like that. Yeah, so I have about 3 singles now, and I had an album in 2017.
Talking about praise and worship, that's what I was going to ask you. Most of the people say, okay, we hear about them, but most of them, they are recycling songs of people rather than promoting their stuff. I don't know what's the strategy, if it's a strategy or what, I don't know. But why is it that constantly when we hear, even those we see on social media who are based outside the country, they are doing people's tracks, that's what we get to hear, rather than do their songs to get our attention?
For me, the main thing is when I go to an event, when I go to a place to minister, I want people to be involved in what I'm doing. So if they've never heard my song before, that's not the first time to introduce myself like that. So I need to firstly get them in, and once they're in, I then introduce my song. So that's one of the strategies we use, because for us, it's not like the secular industry where you can just do your own song. It's a corporate thing. We're trying to get people into the presence of God. So with that, we need to sing songs that everyone knows to get them there, and then once they're there, you know, when they love what we do, they want to, oh, have you got a song, you know, that kind of stuff, and then we introduce ourselves to them. So that's why I believe some of us, I don't know if you guys agree, but that's
but Hattie, doesn't he deny people also from knowing the real you? Whereas you want to warm up into them, you know, and perform people's songs first, but then they begin to look at you as, oh, the artist that sings people's song, and not concentrate on your song.
So just like my brother said, I think it's a way of just connecting with the people. You know, usually when you have a set event, for instance, I'm here to have one, and I just start singing Overflow. If it's only 2 people who have heard that song, you wouldn't have that connection that you're looking for. And I also think that because where we are based, and that is in the US, it's a multicultural environment where you didn't get to have just one language. Over here, you can just speak Twi and everybody can connect. So you try to get songs that it cuts across. So when somebody, even in the UK, even hears that worship rendition that you have done with your voice, they can still connect with it. And then when somebody in Ghana also hears it, they can still connect with it. So I think it boils down to the connection. But anytime that I have 2 minutes to just perform, I try to project my song, because that is the last 2 minutes. And you can see at the Ghana Music Awards, I just have a few minutes, but I decided to project my song either than like showcasing somebody else's. So it depends on the environment as well. So I think pretty much.
So in the US, you project your song, but if you're in Ghana, you would have done other songs before yours.
For an event, because you know it's a worship experience. You don't want people to sit and listen to you just minister. You're trying to get them together, because it's a corporate thing you're doing. You're trying to lead people into the presence of God. So I think you have to sing a song that they're familiarized with. And then once they get into that space with you, you can now sing your song. So go, oh, okay, so that is her song. And I've been to an event where Yahweh, that worship song that I have, I had ministered it in songs, and they didn't know it was even my song, and they just liked it. So they said, oh, was that your song? And I was like, yes. So it's a way of just connecting with people, at least for the first time. You don't just want to get to places and you want people to just sit and listen. It's not like a jazz, you know, performance, but it's an experience that you want people to have. So it's more of the connection. That's why we try to get songs that they know.
I want to start with you a bit before I come to Humphrey.
Okay.
That part where you say you minister a song when people were singing it, you know, and they don't even know it's your song. Do you agree that sometimes the songs become even bigger than the artist? And how do you intend, or what's the strategy to get people to know that? Once you mention Hattie Koji, you know that Overflow is a song that comes next to her name. Once you mention Hattie Koji, this song is what she's known from, because there are artists here in Ghana who people would mention even by their song title. You know, oh, Adom Mameno, you know, then everybody knows that you're talking about Dinah.
Right.
You know, Odiyompo, everybody knows we're talking about Empress Gifty. You know, what are you doing to ensure that you don't get lost in it? You're doing so much, people know the song, they don't know the artist.
So I think pretty much it boils down to how you promote yourself. A lot of times people have heard Hattie Koji, and they can't even put a name to the face.
They can't even pronounce the name.
Oh, okay. So I think it's more so of you making sure you are also present. If even you're not in the country, there's a way you can still stay relevant to the people that are not even with you. So for instance, I would say that I'm based in the US, and I'm trying to get myself known in Ghana. This is where I come from. So how do you put a name to the face? When they hear Hattie, they should know about Overflow or something. So it's more of you projecting yourself, making sure you are being seen on a lot of social medias, because now social media is a thing now that we all use to project our craft. And then you also make sure that you have a team that usually can put some structure in place where, I mean, you become relevant. That's what I'm just trying to say, because you're not the Holy Spirit, so you cannot be everywhere at the same time. But we try to push it as much as we can. But we try also as much as possible not to let the song become bigger than you as an artist, because you are the artist that God is using as a vessel to project the message to the people. So you want to make sure that your strength and the song that you're putting out matches up, so you don't get lost in the process.
You have a track now that we played a few minutes ago with Emoji Music. You know, that's a collaboration with a Ghanaian. When we are asking Ghanaians here, what are you doing collaborations? Like I've asked Joe Metal so many times, why are you doing a collaboration with this international star who have seen Big You Up? When are you doing that? The people that we are using as our competition, the Nigerians, we're seeing them do a lot of that. Why aren't you looking for a mega star in the US and doing a collaboration with him? And you're thinking of, you know, still looking down here and doing a collaboration? I'm not saying that collaboration is bad. I'm just asking.
I would say charity begins at home, you know, and we want to appreciate where we come from. You know, even though we live in the States, we are from Ghana. So I know we have a lot of talents here, likes of Joe Metal, MOG, Akesi Brimpong. So before I try to reach out to any other country, I want to start from my home country. So that's the main reason, yeah.
Just because you want to start from your home country? Yeah, I want to
start from here. Yeah, because they are big stars here anyway, so yeah.
That's it. So if that's the case, why you decide to put somewhere like an emoji on, then the next question is this. So now that you've put emoji on, you're sure that you like we say, you will blow? Oh, no,
that's not why I put emoji on, no.
Because you say you have stars here, so...
No, not necessarily. We don't make these songs because we just want to blow up, no.
No,
let me speak for myself.
You put it in your room then?
Let me speak for myself, all right? Not to blow us as artists, but to spread the music, to spread Jesus. Because what we are doing, you know, we just don't get up and write songs or whatever. We get inspiration. I get inspiration. Let me talk for myself. I get inspiration, then I write. So we are just projecting Jesus through music. So we're trying to make Jesus big, not necessarily Humphrey Tete. So that's it.
And again, I ask, so now that you have done this track, you know, use the Ghanaian, is it automatic that you're going to penetrate the Ghanaian market?
Oh, 50-50, you know? Because you could go for a Don Moen, and maybe if the song is not, maybe God didn't give you that song or whatever it is, it may not penetrate. So it's about hearing from God, writing what you hear, and praying about it.
Is that to say that gospel musicians sometimes are not business-minded? Because that's what we hear all the time. Okay, I'm a staunch believer in Christ, so don't get me wrong. You know, so we always say, oh, I got God said, and I got, but we never say that, okay, when I do this with this person, I know that it's going to reach that market, and I'm going to be able to recoup, you know, whatever I've put in. Is it that gospel musicians never think about the strategy?
For me, I like to say how it is. Let it be real. If anyone is coming to the UK, I mean, I had a man of God contacted me, I think it was a year ago, that when he came around, they said, if you want to do a concert in the UK, you need to get a hold of Emmanuel Smith, because he's done it in the land. So for me, for us to penetrate Ghana, there are people who have done it here. And, you know, I don't know, when it comes to the church, we talk as if fame is such a bad thing, but there's a scripture that says when Jesus entered the land, his fame spread across the land. If there is no fame, you can't reach a lot of people. So for me to come to Ghana, yeah, we Christians, I think sometimes, let's be real, it's tactical as well. God gives us a song, but you could have put someone who's unknown on the song. But sometimes we choose the people that we choose because, okay, the gift that God has given to us, for me personally, it can't just be boxed into a certain, you know, environment. It has to be spread across the world. So if there are key people in lands that God is using, and I believe that, you know, God gives me the go-ahead, you know, because if we say only that songs that God gives us are the ones that blow, then what about secular artists? Where do they get their songs from? Why does it blow? God has given us the inspiration. He's already given the gift. The gift is inside of us. And what we do with the gift is our responsibility. So I feel that if you want to blow in Ghana, if you want to reach more people in Ghana, you reach out to the people who are doing, you know, things there so that you can reach more people. South Africa, you know the people to reach to. So it's the same. In the UK, if I want to put, you know, get into the mainstream in the UK, Stormzy, all of these people, but I know Christians here in Ghana are they don't like controversy, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to change their mindset that we're not just called to be inside the four walls of the church. We're called to go out. That's why I went on The Voice. That's why I did the O2. I don't like to do ordinary stuff. I've grown up in the church, and that's all we knew. But what about the people out there? So, yeah, I think...
So I'm just being curious.
Yes.
Okay, before I continue with you, I'm told that Empress is on the line. Let's quickly speak to her, and then we are back to talk about that controversial part. I love that. Odiompo, Aya Bloody. Good morning, Empress. Hello, Empress, can you hear me? Okay, all right. So you have been to the United States, you've been elsewhere, you were even at Hattie's Overflow concert. I am very curious about why they are not big here in Ghana. Sometimes people sit there and then they just throw the music at us and we catch it. The Nigerians throw music at us, we catch it. The South Africans throw music at us, we catch it. But our fellow Ghanaians out there in the diaspora are throwing songs here, but it's either we are not hearing it or we are not catching it and all of that. You've been there. Tell me, what do you think is the issue with the Ghanaians in the diaspora who have songs and are trying to penetrate this market? Hello, Gipsy. Is Gipsy there? Okay, I can hear her here. I don't know if she's on air and we cannot hear her here, but maybe when that is rectified, we'll get back to Gipsy to have the conversation about what she's seen there and what she thinks can be done with regards to the Ghanaians in the diaspora who are trying to push their craft. So I'm back in studio to have a conversation with Emmanuel, Hattie, and Humphrey. So I love the controversial part. Yeah. You know, you cannot, like you said, you rightly put it, you cannot be controversial here if you're a gospel artist. Yeah. Then the Lord is not with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. So what parts of it what part of it do you want to change? Because I heard you say you want to change that perception.
Yeah. I think the whole thing, even about how we look, how we dress,
right,
and so many things. I mean, the first time people saw me, you know, why a man of God, you have a beard, you have an afro, you have this, and you know, anytime beard is mentioned, oh, why are you trying to look like the Muslims? And I respect the Muslims, but Jewish people have beards. Why don't I look like the Jews, but I look like a Muslim? So for me, when we look at the Bible, John the Baptist was living in the desert. He didn't have a barber. So if you saw John the Baptist now, you wouldn't want to get close to him. Jesus was different, but they all carried the message of the kingdom. Jesus had, you know, beautiful clothes and everything, but they were all sent from God. So I think the whole cultural thing we put into religion, we put so many people away. But if we believe in the Bible, God spoke through a donkey. So can he not speak through someone that does not look like the conventional man of God? And I think that's the thing, because I come to Ghana sometimes and I see how some people look at me until they hear me minister and they're like, oh, wow, man of God. No, but you should have known before. But you just looked at me. And I think that's what I want to change, because we're driving the youth out of the church because they're also rebelling and I want to stand out. So now they're doing the extreme because they want to rebel from what people are saying. But no, God embraces us all. But we men are trying to change people. It's the Holy Spirit who can change. No man can change anyone.
Let me leave that. I was going to ask a more controversial, you know, thing, but let me leave that so that we can go ahead with the conversation. But the major thing for a lot of people is, why Ghana? You're saying to me a few minutes ago that you're here for a concert. You know, previously, my intro, we are sending people, you know, out of this country to go and minister. Oh, why is this artist? Oh, Oko Hamburg, you know, like how they put it. You know, Oko Italy, you know, like how they put it. You know, they're ministering there. And now you are coming here. We are looking forward to going there. You are coming back home. Why Ghana at this point?
So I think it's a good thing that there's a show going on in Ghana, and the organizers see it fit to bring you from the States to come and minister. That, for me, it's a plus, because you don't get a lot of people who are doing music in the diaspora to be featured back on their home country. So I think it's a good thing that they saw it fit, that I will be a blessing to the program that they want to do. I want to touch a little bit on the question that you asked a minister and then what he said. When we featured people, I featured my brother Emmanuel Smith on one of my tracks. The reason why we feature people is that when we get the message, you want to see who executes the message. And so it's not necessarily just saying that, oh, anybody can. But when I got the song, I had Emoji in mind and I had Emmanuel Smith in mind, based on how I wanted the message to be executed. And just like he said, we're trying to cross, how do you say it? Right, to different nation. He's based in the UK, and I thought it wise that if I do a collaboration with him, apart from him even projecting the message and executing it perfectly, I also get to cross over to the UK people and then get to buy into his fan base as well, and he into mine as well. So yes, the business factor is very important, and it's strategic when you're trying to put somebody on your track. And I don't take that out of the ministry as well, because as Christians and as musicians, the gifts that we have, we are just stewards of it. And as a steward, you have to know how to manage what God has placed in your hands. So I think coming back to Ghana is a blessing. I love Ghana, and I love doing shows in Ghana. And I've been on shows in the US as well, so it's not just coming to Ghana, but I've been on other concerts.
Not necessarily even just coming back, but you want your sound to be heard here. You want your name to, you know, resonate with the people here in Ghana. Why? Why is it of importance? You're in America. That's, you know, it's a big deal to be there already. I just want to understand so that when people say, now I'm over then, you know, you know, why do you make it a point that these people have to hear my song? Why not say, oh, I'm in America already, let's look for other venues in America, and then Ghanaians will come chasing me when I'm blown up in America?
So I think that for the American bit, I'm doing that already by the grace of God. I've been reaching out to churches. I have my own annual concert that I do, one of the biggest concerts in the DMV. And it's not a joke when they say that he's been there, so he's seen it. So we are reaching out to people in US as well. It's a process. We are getting there. But I think it's more so because I didn't really start doing music here professionally, and I started doing it over there more. So I decided to come back and reconnect to my people. And as he said, yeah, charity begins at home. So if my people also accept me, and I'm also doing it from US and also trying to build my base over there, I think it's a good way to go. And music is not just boxed in the four walls of the church. As he said, we have to project, we have to reach globally. So Ghana is part of the global market, and then the US is also part. So we are taking it one country at a time. So I think it's a blessing to take.
Talking about his look, I'm looking at Humphrey and I'm asking myself, how many times you've had to answer questions since you got here about your hair?
Oh, yeah.
Now, gospel minister, why are you hair?
I've heard this.
Yo hair.
Yeah.
People won't give you their platforms to minister.
Yeah. Somebody's like, hey, is that the anointing hair or what? Like, I've heard a lot of comments, you know, and hey. And the other day I told somebody, what if Jesus shows up one day and he has dreadlocks, you know, he's in there with dreadlocks, how would you feel? So like he said, you don't want people to judge us by how we look, you know, just receive the message.
But you know that this will deny some people from even listening to your song, from even wanting to give you their platforms to mount, to sing, to even, not to even talk of penetrate their church.
Like the Bible says, when you go to somebody's house and they don't receive you.
They also know the Bible says,
when you go to somebody's house, they don't receive you, just leave, you know?
They don't. I thought you want to propagate the gospel.
Yes,
they're not giving you the opportunity. Just shave your hair and they'll give you the opportunity.
Oh, it shouldn't be based on looks. So if I come like this and you don't want to take me, I'll leave. Yeah, I'm just being real, yeah.
Gospel from the diaspora. We have Gifty, Empress Gifty now on the line to speak to us. Okay, all right, so let's be back to the studio to speak to Emmanuel, Hattie, and Humphrey. Emmanuel is UK-based, Hattie is US, and of course Humphrey also is US-based. So let me read to you some of the messages people have sent here. So somebody says that you've talked real. So real talk, Emmanuel, that's, and then also, so people are bigging you up about what you said. So Hattie, somebody's also, and then Humphrey. But I want to go to the conversation about the resources available to you and social media. So you talked about social media, and I'm coming to you, Hattie, because you talked about social media. But we don't seem to feel your presence there. Is it that people say the work is too grand, you can't even manage that? So even the social media you're talking about, you're not using it as much as you can. And the resources available to you in terms of, you know, you get the big studios and all of that, are you able to walk in there, you know, and use those, or you still will rely on the production from Ghana?
When you say the big studio, like you mean in the US?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So I recorded my Overflow song, the vocals, in a big studio in the US. So I use that a lot. And then I also leverage some of the musicians in Ghana for my other songs. So I'm using both. So in reference to saying social media, I'm not that relevant. Well, I think that is relative, because if somebody really follows me personally, then you would know that I'm somewhat relevant on social media. I had the chance to meet one of the industry players in the country when I visited recently, and he said, oh, I've heard your name, but you know what, honestly, I've not followed you. So now that I've met you, I'm going to follow you. So until the person makes a conscious effort to follow you, and you know that when Emmanuel Smith is online, you can get an alert on your phone to see I'm online, you wouldn't know that I'm relevant. So I think if you follow me personally, you will know that I am. But it doesn't mean that I am there. I have to do more, because there's more I can do to project the...
Because I was going to say that the people who don't follow, but we see them. When you explore, you see a lot of people, you know, just because you're there. You also are not very vibrant there. Is it also because, and I'm being real, that sometimes maybe because of the jurisdiction you find yourself, work is taking a bit of you, family is taking a bit of you and all of that. Could that be also a reason that we don't get to feel your presence? You're not loud, that's the word to use.
Yes. Absolutely. Like you said, work, you know, school, family, all that. But like you said, we can do better. I can do better. Matter of fact, like Hattie said as well, if everybody we know actually follows us, let's say subscribe to our YouTube, you hear our music when it comes on, you know. But it's like, we know a lot of people, folks from Ghana. I went to school here, of course, and I'm on WhatsApp groups with them, but I can say about 90% don't have my YouTube. They don't subscribe. So if they would take the conscious effort to follow Humphrey Teddy, you know, will be more relevant, yeah. Humphrey Teddy.
Humphrey Teddy. Yeah. All right, so Kewa is on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us, Kewa. I hope you're well.
I'm very blessed. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So I know that you need to go because you're in church. Now, have you had the opportunity to sample music from the diaspora? I know you've worked with a number of them, but have you sat down to listen to other songs that you haven't produced from people who are from the diaspora?
If I get your question right, you're saying, have I produced for people from the diaspora?
I know you've produced for people. I know you've produced for people in the from the diaspora. I'm asking even if you've sat to sample music from some of the names that you've heard from the diaspora and assess what they've done.
Oh yeah. Well, as a producer, one of the things you may always have to consider is how to sample music. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. Just that you have to make sure that you don't entirely sample directly. You just have to make sure you take a bit of it, so you add your own, and then so that at the end of the day you have your own sound. So I mean.
I wasn't even talking about sampling. I'm talking about you assessing, what they've done. Are you familiar with their songs? Are you impressed with what they've done so far? Why are they not being able to penetrate this market? Why are they not blowing like Sonny did some years ago?
Okay, is it a Ghanaian?
Yes, the Ghanaians based in the diaspora.
No, I think that people like Diana Hamilton have made it, and so when you talk about percentage-wise, we can now begin to understand that maybe we're looking at it from that percentage perspective. But I believe that over there, I mean, I've had the opportunity to work with them over there. Most of the time, most of them are doing many things, not just doing music, But for us, the Ghanaian artists here are usually concentrating on music. But there, you cannot only do music and then survive. They'll tell you that. And so, but apart from that, I believe that some of the artists are also doing well. They are, working. I mean, Emmanuel Smith is one. I believe that he's putting up great productions that eventually will make it in the market. So it's not entirely true that they are not doing well. Some have really penetrated and are doing pretty well.
The issue about some of them penetrating, and I want you, for the purpose of this conversation, to leave Dinah out. Dinah, we can trace back to the days of Francis J. People will say maybe she got, to work in this market for quite a bit. Some of them are working from there as new artists who are trying to penetrate this market. Is it an issue about we not giving them enough airtime, or I've heard people say that some of the songs are not good enough?
No, I think that they are equally doing great production. Well, I mentioned Emmanuel Smith's production, very, very good songs. I think that it is usually, you can have the best of productions, it even applies to the artists here, have the best of productions. If you don't intensify promo, it will be difficult to, break through. I was telling somebody yesterday that there are no gates or doors to this, they're only walls, and you have to break through the walls, and then so you can also, start something good. And so I believe that largely is the promotion, putting in a lot of effort. I mean, you can also channel it to the fact that maybe they are not receiving maybe intensive promo. And for others too, I believe that because they live there, they don't have the chance to come here and do the promo right. And so that's where, it is. Apart from that,
sorry,
I don't know if I've made sense.
Then again, another issue beyond a promotion is the fact that we have, and I'm sorry, we have superstar producers. And there's also a belief that if you use these producers, automatically you have a hit. That's what I hear. So, if you work with KY there, and then you're a hitter, I don't know. Is it a myth or is it reality? Because people are beginning to encourage them to use Ghanaian producers and to use specific names.
Well, it's not entirely true because there are songs I've also produced that have not made it. That's just to say that our industry loves to deal with people who are there already, So if I produced something for somebody and then you take to a DJ or a radio presenter, once he knows that KY has he's produced hits in the past and is still producing hits, there's a tendency that this one will also be a hit. But it doesn't entirely make it possible that you will have a hit. I believe that a hit really comes from exposing the music. Because we can do great music. They are great stuff, and hear me well. They are some of the toughest, powerful productions I've done that never made it because they didn't receive the right attention. You understand? And so over there, they are very solid and beautiful producers who are doing pretty well. Over here, there are producers who are also doing well. But I believe that at the end of the day, it is giving the production a good attention.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. We appreciate your time, Kewa.
I appreciate it too.
All right, so that's renowned sound engineer speaking to us, Kewa, about the sounds from the diaspora, what he makes of them, and whether it's a myth, that you need to work with certain producers, to make it. I don't know if you also get that. I hear people say that a lot. Or if you work with this person, it's a hit automatically. I don't know if that's pressure on you to do that. But now you heard that. Well, it's not entirely true. We need to go, but I need you to, if your final words, because I was going to ask if language has also become like a barrier for you to penetrate if you're coming back to Ghana, because out there we hear people say, oh, out there you want to sing in Chi, you want to sing in Ever, you want to sing in that, and those people do not get to understand. Is language also a barrier in terms of what you do, penetrating the market there? And are you comfortable, because it will get to some people here, if you want to just wrap up with that? Hattie, we'll start with you, and then you say your final words, and then I'll take the question round.
Okay. To some extent, I think language is a barrier, but just like Kewa was saying, it boils down to production. Because we've had a lot of South African songs that we don't even understand, but because you've produced or promoted it so well, we just love the song. So it boils down to production. But just like I said, if I'm doing an Ewa song, I will want to chip in a line of English for somebody in the US who doesn't understand the entirely Ewa to at least catch a phrase in the song and say, okay, I think this is what you mean. Or we can use subtitles on the songs for the people to read and then understand what we're trying to say. With my last words, I want to say a big thank you to you having me on your show. I appreciate you and your team. And also to say thank you to my pastor, Reverend Emmanuel Agomida, the entire Grace to Grace family, and then to my team in Ghana and then in the US. I love you all. My friends and family out there and fans who supported me, everybody that retweeted everything that I tweeted, liked my comments, commented or encouraged me in any way. I want to say God richly bless you. To all the bloggers, I love you. You know how I feel about you. Are we supposed to put a social media?
Oh, you're supposed to do that. Not shout outs. You did shout out, but you're eating into people's time.
I know, right?
And
so to follow me, I'm Hattie Koji. I am Hattie Koji on Instagram, on YouTube, and all other platforms. It's just Hattie Koji.
Okay.
HARTYGORGIE.
Hattie is taking all the time. We'll have to quickly that I go to Emmanuel.
Yeah. So. Language barrier,
no, you just go ahead with the social media handle. Otherwise, you miss that opportunity.
All right, okay, so it's Humphrey Tete on all social media platforms. Please follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I have a new song out with MOG Music. It's called Wayeyi. please go to YouTube and subscribe. That song will bless you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Please.
Yeah, mine is Emmanuel Smith Official on every social media. So yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you so much for watching today's edition of Simply Showbiz. We hope that we brought you new faces. You want to follow them and appreciate their track. This is Gospel from the Diaspora. My name is Miji. Thanks to the entire team.